guys, I'm Elizabeth Newsom and welcome to my booktube channel. So first of all, I was looking at some other YouTube videos earlier today and I realized how long my hair has gotten. Like when I started this YouTube channel, my hair was like right here. And now it's like right here. It's crazy because it's been about a year since I've started this. And in honor of my booktube anniversary, I think I'll do a Q&A sometime in the near future. So if you guys would like a Q&A, then please leave me some questions down below that you'd like me to answer. It can be about books, about writing, Wattpad, or just anything in general. With that said, if the question isn't very appropriate, then I might not answer it. But otherwise, I'm open to pretty much anything. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about my first book haul since I've had a booktube channel, which is crazy. Honestly, it's just because I don't really buy physical books. But lately, I've been very bad about that, as you can see from the stack over here. And part of it's been I've gotten some Barnes & Noble gift cards for my birthday, and I've gone out with friends. And then I went to one of my writers' meetings, where we launched the East Texas Writers Group, which I'm the vice president of. And at that writing meeting, this one person had brought like 4 boxes of books, and the sign just said, take whatever you're gonna read. So I'm not sure I will read all of these, but there were some really, really good books in there. Anyhow, this is one of the books that I bought from Barnes & Noble. I usually don't buy fiction books in print, as you guys know. I like to get them on Kindle so I can take them with me anywhere. But I was just flipping through this and I had a gift card and I couldn't help it. The back says it could go one of 2 ways. Martial law will be effective, things will break soft, and recovery will be relatively easy. 2. Martial law will fail. Riots will be systemic and severe, and Southern California will break bad. So what happens now? Essentially, this is about what they call the tapout. Kind of like a blackout, but with water. So one day, just all the water goes off. The showers aren't working, the sinks aren't working. And everyone is storming over to Costco to like take all the water bottles and the Gatorade and the soda and the bags of ice. So this is kind of about them surviving a really severe drought in California. And I'm interested in sort of post-apocalyptic things, and this kind of had some post-apocalyptic vibes. So we'll see how I like it. The second book I bought from Barnes & Noble was Start With Why by Simon Sinek. His TED Talk is one of the top 5 watched TED Talks of all time, and I've watched it so many times. I've actually typed it up word for word, and I adore it. And just from the title of this book, I knew it was going to have a similar message to his TED Talk, and I just love Simon Sinek and listening to his speeches and his message and his principles and ideals. So I thought this book would be a really good read. Next we have Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. I've actually read this before. I might have another print copy, but I forgot if I have the print copy. I took this just to make sure I have one of these in print because I know I have Outliers in print. I listened to the Tipping Point on audiobook and that was okay, so I don't really need that in print. But I wanted to make sure to have this one because I've read this one before and it's really good. So the back says, drawing on cutting-edge neuroscience and psychology to reveal that the difference between good decision-making and bad has less to do with how much information we process than with our ability to focus on a few particular details. Gladwell shows us how we can all become better decision-makers in our homes, in our offices, and in everyday life. So in this, it has some things on micro-decisions and kind of how we subconsciously make decisions in an instant, and kind of about intuitive, fast decision-making, which is why it's called Blink, because it all happens in the blink of an eye. Next is Made to Stick. So one of my friends actually did a speech on this when I was competitive in speech and debate, and essentially it's about making ideas sticky. And the way to make ideas sticky is through success. SUCCES. Simplicity, unexpectedness, concreteness, credibility, emotional, and stories. So like I said, how to make an idea sticky. And since I'm going to be a marketing major, I might as well know this stuff, right? Next we have the Lean Startup. How today's entrepreneurs use continuous innovation to create radically successful businesses. So in the future, I'd like to be an entrepreneur and start my own small publishing company. And that'll be probably in the far distant future because first I have to establish myself as an author and also finish college. But I figured it could be good to know. This one is called Thinking Fast and Slow. In the highly anticipated Thinking Fast and Slow, Kana Man takes us on a groundbreaking tour of the mind and explains the two systems that drive the way we think. System 1 is fast, intuitive, and emotional. System 2 is slower, more deliberative, and more logical. So this book talks a lot about cognitive biases and the way we think and psychology. In case you can't tell, I'm really interested in psychological type topics and just how we think in general. And I think that's why I like marketing, is because it involves engaging others, it involves kind of like knowing how they think and what they want. And I think there are certain psychological aspects to marketing too, but we'll see. Next is The Bride Collector by Ted Dekker, and it's got like a really creepy picture. So it looks like a thriller. Some people have described Ted Dekker as writing Christian horror. So I've met Ted Dekker a few times, and then I read his fantasy series, which I really liked, but he's most known for these kinds of thrillers, and I've never read one. So I saw it, and I'm like, hey, why not? A virtuoso killer. Okay, I don't know how to say that word. And honestly, typically when I don't know how to say a word, I know what it means because I read it. But in this case, I don't know either. After I'm done with this video, I'm gonna look it up. A killer is carving a path of dead across the West, intent on killing only the most beautiful women. Each time he leaves behind a handwritten note in a bridal veil. Desperate for help, Special Agent Brad Rains turns to the Center for Wellness and Intelligence, a private home for gifted mentally ill residents. He's quickly drawn to a young woman named Paradise who struggles with psychosis. Together they enter the killer's deadly game and begin to close in. But like Paradise, the Bride Collector is supremely gifted, and he has a distinct advantage. This is his game. Full of surprising wit and hair-raising twists that will keep you riveted to the end, the Bride Collector will haunt you with a new way of looking at beauty, love, and the world in which you live. It just sounds kind of cool, and maybe there's romance in it, so hopefully it'll be a good book. I'm sure it will, though. Ted Dekker's a very good author. Next is Permission Marketing, Turning Strangers into Friends and Friends into Customers by Seth Godin. Okay, I'm done. So again, I'm a marketing major, and I was at a Toastmasters meeting the other day, and one guy was telling me that the hardest part of marketing is that initial stage when you make a connection with your customer. After you've made the connection, there's ways to maintain it. You can contact them, wish them happy birthday, send them cards, but that initial contact is one of the hardest parts. And that's why I bought this book. Just because in our day and age, if someone emails you and you don't know them, you're not going to open the email. Or if someone calls you and you don't recognize the number, you're probably not going to answer. So it's really hard to make that initial contact, so hopefully that'll help. Next, there's the 5 love languages. I'm so happy about this because, as you guys know, this is one of my favorite books. Like, one of my top 5 favorite nonfiction books. It's just a beautiful book. And I initially did have this in print. But then I decided to loan it to a friend who I don't see that often. And then I moved, and I haven't seen that friend since. So I don't know what happened to the book. I'm assuming she still has it. I hope she still has it. But anyhow, I saw this, and it's like, yes, I want it again. And then finally, The Case for Christ. So I've really been getting into more apologetics lately. When I was in high school and middle school, it was like, okay. Like, I'm learning all this rhetoric stuff, and that's cool. But now I'm in college, and I can actually use it. Not only do I actually use it, but I actually need it. Like, there are so many questions that college makes you ask. Like, why do you believe what you believe? And I really want to be able to answer these kinds of questions for other people. So there you guys have my Christmas book haul. And my only book haul that I've ever done here. Don't expect these a lot, because generally I don't have the opportunity to get so many physical books. But this was an exception. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And subscribe if you like bookish videos and tips about college life, or just things about college life in general, because I post 1 video a week on books or college or something like that. And in the comments, again, please leave questions for the upcoming Q&A so I have stuff to answer. Or else it's just going to be like a really awkward Q&A. And we don't want that. So let me know down below and I'll see you next time. Bye!